All right, here we go. This is a web-based call. So we are operating under the following procedures. The session is being audio and video recorded. We will not use a chat feature in this meeting. To ensure sound quality, the default rule for this meeting is that everyone will remain on mute. Commissioners and staff will generally remain on mute except when speaking or voting. This meeting is open to the public, but is not a public hearing. Therefore, no members of the public may speak unless specifically invited to do so. If a member of the public creates an audio or video disruption, they may be manually ejected from the meeting upon recommendation of the staff or the chair. We appreciate your attendance at this meeting. Should you have any questions about this process, you may call our staff at 860-444-5813 after the meeting has ended. And with that, I turn the meeting back over to the chair.
Very good. Item 2 is plan reviews. A request of Waterford Central LLC and 61A MyRock LLC owners, SigCon Associates LLC, applicant for site plan approval to locate a multifamily development on property located at 61 and 61A MyRock Avenue in accordance with sections 8.1.3, 16.1.2, and 22 of the zoning regulations, and as shown on plans titled Waterford Central Site Development Plans, dated 3/16/23, revised to 5/2/23. All right, gentlemen, I turn it over to you.
All right, well, thank you. For the record, my name is Brandon Hanfield. I'm a professional engineer licensed in the state of Connecticut with Yantic River Consultants. Here representing the applicant SigCon Associates. And here with us tonight is also John Wicko, the project architect. And so what we have here is a proposal for a multifamily development on 61 MyRock Avenue. For orientation purposes, I will share my screen. Oh, you gotta enable me, Mark.
Yep, I'll get that.
Perfect.
Okay, should be set.
There we are. All right, screen 3. All right, and make sure everybody can see that. There we go. All right, so for orientation purposes, our product 61 MyRock Avenue is outlined in the orange, so that is the property line. Willets Avenue would be left on your page or north. MyRock Avenue would be east or up. The existing or currently under construction Waterford Woods development is to the west or down. And out back here would be the Atlantic Broad building to the south. And then the Eversource building is off the page. The current zone of this property is CMF, or commercial multifamily. And what we're proposing is a multifamily development. And before we get too much into the details, this is, for all intents and purposes, an expansion of the Waterford Woods development. It is a separate parcel. It will maintain a separate address and a separate property name, but it is an extension or an expansion of that development. And so our internal roads, you'll see, will connect to the internal road network of Waterford Woods with appropriate easements. And there will be no additional connections out to Willets Avenue or MyRock Avenue for traffic purposes, only maintenance and emergency. Let's see here. So I will go into our proposed development, which consists of 6 multifamily buildings with 36 units each. And to go back to the 2022 Design Review Board, these buildings are the same as the building E and F that we proposed as part of phase 2 Waterford Woods. So each of these 6 buildings shown in orange, G through L, are the same building that are built on Waterford Woods out back here off the page. So we'll get into the architectural styles later, but I do want to say that you've basically the same exact building that we presented before and are currently under construction. Access, as I said, to the site will be connected to the existing driveway network, as you can see here. So this is actually a Bing aerial map that I was able to pull in to show you the status of construction of Waterford Woods. So you see building A, building B, building C, building D, the foundation was in at that time. It's now almost nearly complete. And you also can see the existing intersection with Willits Avenue here that what has been built. And that will be our main access point as well. In terms of the layout, there will be a looped layout that will connect at the main driveway and head eastward and then southerly and then connect back into Waterford Woods at this rear intersection here between building A and building B. There will be a spur that heads out to the south towards Atlantic Broadband that will serve building K and L and the parking for them. However, this will be a dead end, so it will not have a connection out for traffic purposes to the existing Atlantic Broadband development or to Myrock Avenue. So there will be a fence installed here that will prohibit any through access except for emergencies and maintenance. In total, this will be 216 new units, a mix of 144 one-bedroom and 72 two-bedroom. There will be garages that are intermixed throughout the development, and we can get into the architectural shortly of those. And before I turn it over to John to discuss the architecturals, I'll briefly go through our landscaping approach, unless there's any questions on the actual layout that we have here or are currently proposing. All right. Oh, I'll go back to lighting. So our approach to landscaping for this was to basically be in harmony with what we currently have on Waterford Woods, which is really a lot of street trees consisting of various shade trees and screening. So along the main corridor, you'll see all these little circles are existing trees that were planted as part of that development. They consist of maples, including red maple as well as sugar maples, pin oaks, and then some more ornamental trees like zelkovas. So we're really trying to continue that streetscape corridor appearance as you drive in to really break up the appearance of the buildings and the roads with that same mix of maples, shade trees, oaks, as you work your way out back to the south, and then you work your way back down to the intersection here. A few things to point out on how we graded the site. So all along Willits Avenue, you'll see there's a frontage screening buffer. That's actually will be a landscape planted berm with various amounts of screening trees as well as intermixed shrubs, basically to create an attractive corridor along Willits Avenue and discourage both access and view into the development. So this will be a raised 3 or 4 foot high berm, and then there'll be a slope going down to the development. So we're trying to conceal this building G as much as possible for people looking in as they walk along Willits Avenue. That berm and screening continues along the entire eastern property line with a mix of screening trees and screening shrubs. So there are existing mature vegetation along this. So where there's existing mature vegetation, we shifted the screening slightly away and try to do more of an understory enhancement consisting of green giants and I get the name here. I'll get back to that in one moment. And then when there's no existing mature vegetation, we beefed up the screening trees. So the green giants will be staggered closer together and then intermixed with that understory planting as well to create more of a natural buffer along that eastern property line. And you'll see out back here along the Atlantic Broadband, when they built that building, they had a similar approach. So those trees are mature now and create a really nice buffer to that commercial development. And we're trying to extend that northward to Willits Avenue. Again, all of this screening is elevated at the property line, and then our project is benched in to the slope. So buildings G, I, and K are all down about 10 feet. So that first floor is really down a good 15 to almost 20 feet in some areas below these properties. So they're not looking at a large building. We tried to really lower these buildings as much as possible so that the scale of the building to the neighboring properties is similar or appropriate. As you see here, there is a light green and then intermixed with a darker green. So what that indicates is we tried to create tiers or terraces of landscape where maintained areas are flat. And in between those maintained areas are slopes that are covered with a no-mow or natural conservation seed mix. So you'll have these mowed lawn areas that are flat for recreation purposes, planted with trees and shrubs, and in between them will be more of a fescue and unmaintained slope that only has to be mowed once a year or every other year. And that's really to break up our maintenance as well as for stormwater purposes. So any stormwater that comes down the slope is interrupted by these terraces that are vegetated to encourage stormwater treatment and infiltration. And then as you see along the center road, we incorporated more of a flowering tree that follows the road and intermixes with our parking areas. And those flowering trees are native and similar to what we proposed on Waterford Woods. So we have Florida dogwoods, and I believe it's a plum tree. Other than that, the real intent here was to maintain as much of the natural appearance as possible and supplement the trees as much as we could. So there's really no trees on this existing site. So we're bringing in well over 200 trees. There are none that we're taking down. And I believe the ratio would be about 60 shade trees and then 140 screening trees that you'll see around the perimeter. So we're not cutting any trees down, and we're bringing in 200. And just to bring it to the rear, the last thing I'll point out is this is the existing limit of vegetation or trees, and we are not disturbing that or changing that. And our limit of work is about 80 feet away from that limit of clearing, as you see here, which would be the toe of our slope. And everything from this line to the north would be vegetated. I can hand it over to John or answer questions now. I'm happy to answer questions at either point. All right.
Thanks, Brandon. So as Brandon said, the buildings are the same as E and F and phase 2. There's 6 buildings of 3 floors each, and about 31,700 square feet per building. These are the buildings that have the 3 entrance towers in between the gables that have that house the stairs, which access 4 units on each of the floors. So it's that style that's over in phase 2. The handicap units are on the ground floor, the grade floor. We provided of those units in the numbers or letters A and B as the ANSI prescribes. Notable about these designs are that the mechanical units, there's 12 units on, 24 condensing units on the roof of the stair, and 12 of the mechanical units are within, you can see on the corners, there's some louvered areas, and those are where mechanical units are housed. So we don't have any mechanical equipment that's scattered on the site and in the landscaping. The style is the same. We opted for continuity. We're using the same siding materials, which are a James Hardie product, which is a cementitious siding consisting of some flat panels, board and batten, shiplap type siding. It's mixed in an architectural way to just create some uniqueness to the structures and character. Other materials are corrugated metal on the corner towers, vinyl clapboard in many of the fields, left and right of the siding, and different various panels and openings at the stairs, the 3 stairs at the center. That's a general overview of the buildings. The garages that we introduced, there's 3 different styles. Just to note, one of the garage units, I believe it's G400E, which is next to the pickleball courts. We're upgrading that garage to a stepped roof building that has a little more character, and it's more visible to the person traveling through and occupants of the complex. A very attractive agricultural style building, which all these garages are designed in. Low roof lines, asphalt roof shingles, a vinyl clapboard siding for the most part, with accent vertical board and batten. That particular unit, G400E, is a 5-bay unit with an open shed at the side towards the open field that's in that direction. And then the other 2, which are scattered throughout the site, are the G500 and G600, which are, let's see, that's a 10-bay garage, both sides, and it works with the site, the placement of that in between the 2 drives. And then there's 2 other ones, the G700 and 800, which are 5-bay, all having the similar style to them, with decorative hardware and some nice touches such as that. That's a general overview of the buildings within this phase, and I can certainly answer questions or explain things further if needed.
All right, thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Do the board have any questions?
I guess just one, I understand why, but I was kind of surprised when I looked at Waterford Woods at the brightness of the colors and the size to mark the buildings A, B, C.
Mm-hmm.
I understand it coordinates with the door color.
Yeah, that's a feature that the developer, kind of a signature, and it's to add some interest, and it really relates to the demographics of the users. They respond very well. He has many other projects successfully that use those colors in very interesting ways. Even throughout the interior, there's primary colors with creative artwork, and self-developed by the owner also. So it kind of just fills that whole theme. It extends it to the buildings themselves. So it introduces that color before you go into the inside.
So on the garages, will there be accent colors?
I believe so. I think I indicated some of that ochre color on them. They'll be the same color, so it won't be like spotted, but we will vary the colors from garage to garage.
Any other questions? All right, I'm
Questions, John?
Bob.
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, yeah, I'm it is a large expansion, but it's well well off the road, and there's some nice screening going on to Willets Avenue there. We've already approved the earlier phase in the same style, so it's kind of a done thing there. Any other comments? Yeah, any other comments, Bob or Joy?
No, I'm all set, John.
Good, all right. All right then, is there a motion to approve this plan?
So moved.
All
Second.
right. I'm sorry, Joy, second?
Second,
Okay, all in favor? The plan as
Aye.
is?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. All right.
Thank you very much. We
gentlemen.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, yes.
Minutes.
All right.
All right. Minutes from the last meeting. Any comments?
That was the April 25th meeting.
Yes.
I
Mhm,
move
the,
approval.
and I'll be the second.
All right, Joy, second, very good. All right, all in favor of approving the minutes of
Aye.
April 25th? Aye. Aye, all right. Terrific. Is there any other business?
Are there any things coming up that will be coming in the next couple meetings?
Yeah, we anticipate at this point that you will be looking at a revision to the car wash building that was approved a little while ago. They're coming in with a total change of design. Initially, if you recall, or if you don't recall, what the building looked like was more of a northwest coast style, blocky, tall.
Right,
They're coming in with more New England style. We're looking at a cape A-frame roof, brick, with a car wash. So, because it's such a drastic change from what you had initially seen, we're requiring them to come in front of the design review board. This
Good.
doesn't require anything from planning and zoning, because they're not making any drastic changes or anything substantial to the site. This is just a change to the building design itself. So, you know,
why, what was the motivation?
I don't know. They decided to come in with a change. We can only make assumptions, perhaps cost, perhaps material. I am not sure.
Sounds positive, actually.
Mhm.
Absolutely, I agree. So, if they're ready to go by, if they're ready to go, you would be seeing it on June 13th. Which would be the next scheduled meeting of DRB anyway. But
Okay.
that's the only thing at this point that you would be looking at.
Okay.
Anticipate anything else coming in there. And also, Joy, your reappointment will be in front of the Planning and Zoning Commission tonight.
And Bob is also, I think his term is the same as mine,
I'll check that.
because it said expired.
Okay, all right, I'll have Katrina look into that.
We don't want to lose Bob.
Isn't that awful? Expired.
Past due date.
Yeah, I'll go.
All right, so I'll put that forward too if, okay.
Okay,
Now,
thanks.
One other thing, John, you had mentioned, what about Clark Lane? That,
Well,
With the
that is,
mobile
we have
Oh, that's right. that will be
we have
in
an,
front of you guys.
a 8-30G affordable housing project coming in on Clark Lane. I don't know if you may have heard about it. 47 units. And they are manufactured homes. So typically in an 830G because it is it's not subject to zoning. However, we would like to, even if it's not subject to zoning, we'd like to run it through all the normal processes that we would run an application through. So I would anticipate that we would at least get it out to you guys for your review and any input you can think of if, with regard to either design or landscape or the like, whatever you think could add to the project.
This is, yeah, so add this to the 13th. I forgot to mention that. as
Mhm.
well.
So the 13th is gonna be pretty busy.
Okay, I'll
So,
be there for that one.
so is there egress to that land currently so that we can look at it, or?
It is,
It's
you,
kind of
it's
overgrown.
kind of overgrown. You might need to bring your machete with you to get back there. It's not, it's not in, I mean, we could probably arrange it if you'd like.
I
Well,
just,
we
because you go by it on the road and you don't see anything.
It's,
So I don't know, like, what, I guess I could look at a Google aerial view.
you could,
that.
we could probably provide you, I mean, we could give you the plans.
We can certainly
We
give
can
you
make the plans
copies,
available for you so you could see it, and then with a Google Earth shot, you'll see what it is. It's a U shape. There's gonna be egress in right where the big Remax sign is right now. And then down the road, you'd have to know where it is to pick out where the exit is gonna be, but, so we can get that information to you.
Okay,
Yeah,
Thanks.
What I can do, I can have them put a packet together, get it out to you guys earlier than usual if you want to have time to take a look at it.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, that'd be terrific.
Yep.
Very
Okay.
good. All righty.
All right,
Again, my apologies for the technical difficulties.
We got over it.
Night all.
Motion to adjourn?
night,
All
Bob.
right.
good night.
Happy Memorial Day.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good
good night.
Bye.
Memorial Day.